Hey guys, I got the first block of Strength and Movement A for 2025. It's a deadlifting block. You'll notice in the main work I'm put the deadlifting before the sort of supplementary work for deadlifts. And the reason being we're working on grip strength and a little bit of like rounded back sort of strength. And we put that after the deadlift because if your grip is really taxed and then you go to deadlift, you might be able to hang on as well. And if your back is really taxed because you're not used to working on that rounded back sort of stuff, I suppose you're a little bit more likely to hurt yourself when you need to stay solid in a deadlift. I'm not going to show you any deadlifting. You guys are all on top of it. You can use kettlebells, you can use barbells. We'll do some farmer's carry for grip. We use a single farmer's carry here. You're hanging onto it in one hand. You're reasonably tall, so not leaning over this way or more likely leaning over this way. So you're reasonably tall and you're going for a walk. Now, tell people, pick up something that feels heavy for 30 seconds. Likely, if they go to pick it up and it looks like this, or they just grab it and go like that, it's probably not quite heavy enough. If you encourage people to pick it up with two hands and then shift it to one and then go for a walk, that weight is probably more reasonable for them to do this. Because remember, we want grip stimulus here. Now it's totally possible for your side body to be the limiting factor here in these, but ideally your grip is getting taxed. We'll do some Jefferson curls as well. You can do these guys with a kettlebell, either on the floor if you can't quite reach the floor, or on a box if you can reach the floor. So for these, I want you to think about having your weight down through the forefoot. Round forward, don't necessarily huge into chest or whatever for these, but I do like thinking about getting my shoulders forward here. So sort of protracting my shoulders. Weight towards the front of the foot, protract the shoulders. Round down. Now for me, I can get quite a bit below the floor, so I should be doing them up on a box. You just don't want to be able to touch the floor. Which leads on to, I've been training these guys with a barbell semi-regularly, and I quite like it in a searcher grip here. So, if this is not an uncomfortable position for people, I think it's a good one to practice because it's really scalable. You can get up to a heavy weight on the barbell and it feels the same loading. Whereas, we don't have kettlebells heavier than 36 kilos if that's what you need. Looks the same, weight on the front of the foot, shoulders forward, round down, pull yourself into the bottom, and back up to the top. So that's the sort of supplementary stuff for the deadlift. Now I'll show you the additional work for the first 4 weeks. We do some kettlebell knee raises. We're doing some hip flexor work. Oh, I forgot to say Dazzy is here. He's keeping me company today. Which one was I doing? Knee raises. I'm up on a platform for this one. You can totally do it on the floor, and I'll show you in a sec. But I like being on a platform because it lets me get all the way into this sort of stretched hip flexor position. So I'm hooking the weight on my toes. I'm not overly posteriorly tilting. Anterior tilt is the best here, but I'm okay if it sort of gets pulled a little bit out. And I raise my knee as tall as I can. You'll notice that if you just give people the goal of reach as high as you can, they'll end up getting in this position at the top. I'm not interested in that. I want that nice long supporting leg, pushing down through the forefoot, drive up with the knee, keeping doesn't have to be excessively anteriorly pelvic tilted, but you want to train towards that. Single arm floor pressing. I'm going to do these guys with my body positioned as if I were about to do a Turkish get up, but I don't mind if you instead do just sort of knees together, but I'm just pressing down elbow to the floor, keeping forearm more or less vertical as I do these. Like I said, the other option, if you want to do them like this, I'm totally fine with it. Benefits of one arm, it's all the benefits that come with sort of stability on a single shoulder, but also I feel like the ability to protract is a little bit better, so I can get a better reach up to the ceiling without feeling weird on my neck, stuff like that. As will happen with some people. Wicked, and we do some bicep curls. These ones are an ode to Dave, let's say. We need some more bicep work in here, mostly for the tendons. You can use either, what are these guys, kettlebells or dumbbells. I'm keeping my elbows more or less in the same position. I have a reasonably slow eccentric, so I don't mind if your concentric is quick, but I want a reasonably slow eccentric. Yeah, use dumbbells or kettlebells, I don't mind. The second time through, so the weeks 5 to 8, the grip work is dead hanging. I don't think I need to explain this one very much. We're coming over in dead hanging for a minute, just to get the grip stronger for deadlifting, just in general. We're also doing some stone cleans from the knee. So for these guys, the first stone clean movement will look like more or less a deadlift to start, rack it on the knees, come underneath it, and if you see here, my position isn't really tall, it's like a little bit round, and this is good, that's what I want. So arms underneath here, stand up, return to the position that we were just in. I didn't mention it as we went through the J curls, but there are people where it would be reasonable to get them to do some bent over rows instead of any of this rounded spine work if they have osteopenia, osteoporosis, etc. Just to keep that sort of neutral spine that they like. The hip flexor work for the second time through, so now we're on the additional stuff, is the seated single leg lift. For these guys, hug your knee, point your toe, and you want to stay kind of latched in. So what I mean by that is as I come up with the foot, I don't want to lean backwards. I want to be tugging in here, trying to stay pretty tall with my spine by anteriorly tilting the pelvis. Like I said, point the toe, lift up for a moment of control, and back down. Now as you do these guys, you wouldn't want it to start looking like this move. You would want to be staying pretty tall and going through there. I like this variation on one leg rather than the double leg lift because I feel as though you can't use the sort of lower abdominal muscles as much with these ones as you would be able to get like a really round spine to lift with the two-legged version, because we're working specifically on the hip flexor to a single leg. We'll do some lying to sitting transitions with the kettlebell. So this is essentially the start of a Turkish get-up, but we are doing shoulder, elbow, hand, elbow, shoulder, back down. I don't mind if people need to work on this without weight. The better you are at rounding your spine, the more mechanically easy this gets. So if there's anyone who's really upright and erect all the time, these may be quite challenging on their sort of core muscles to get them to happen. So if it needs to look like this, I still want them to reach. So be it. That's totally fine. We'll do some eccentric chins here as well. Most people will just be doing them not unreasonable to get people to practice them with the bar, with their feet off the ground rather. So set up like they would for a chest to bar normally, nice and light in the feet, lower it down over 1, 2, 3, and I don't mind if they need to stand on their feet to get back up. I only care about the eccentric. Lower down over 1, 2, 3. Now it's a good target here to get to long arms, but if people's knees are unhappy with it, or they don't quite have the strength to feel like they can support themselves as they get towards long arms, that's okay. Just get to the desired depth, let's say. Like I said, you can totally work these guys with feet off the ground here as well. So it'll look like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Try and get contact with the chest to bar so that you're getting the full range. And I think that's it for strength and movement. Thanks guys.